Hello everyone and welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Anna Deshays, joined by Logan, Bourandas, and Mike Merendino. Tonight we're bringing you the first edition of our weekly NBA mock drafts. It's looking a little different this year with the draft being held in mid-November instead of June. And without March Madness, teams lose an opportunity to take a look at players in the big moments. Logan, give us a recap of your lottery picks.
All right, so brief recap here. Anthony Edwards, my opinion, the best player coming out of this draft. I have him going number one to the Timberwolves in desperate need of another guard to pair along with D'Angelo Russell. Number two, I like James Wiseman going to the Warriors, giving them a center they've desperately been looking for. LaMelo Ball at three, giving them a nice point guard. And I got three forwards going back to back to back here. It really could be any order you want, but all those three teams, the Bulls, the Cavs, and the Hawks, in need of a forward of some kind of form. And then the Pistons and the Knicks, they're kind of in the same boat here. Both need a point guard. Pistons had Derrick Rose last year. We don't know whether he's going to get traded or not. And the Knicks, we just don't know what's going on with their franchise in general. So I have them taking point guards there. With the Wizards at number 9, I like them taking another center there to pair alongside a healthy John Wall and Bradley Beal coming off a great season. Suns going Precious there from Memphis. I like that fit with Ricky Rubio, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. They basically just need a power forward on their roster there. Then 11 and 12, both the Spurs and the Kings looking for that center. The Spurs could pair Stewart alongside of LaMarcus Aldridge. And then with the Kings and Tillman, they have Marvin Bagley they picked a couple years ago. Could get a nice little pairing there. Devin Vassell for New Orleans Pelicans. Drew Holiday, we don't know what the future is going to be with him, how long he's going to be there. So that's just another shooting guard to pair along with him. And then Sadiq Bey with the Celtics. That's going to be an interesting fit. They have a lot of guards that are on that roster. Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, Kemba Walker. Don't have a lot of depth at power forward, so that's my pick at 14.
So we got to talk about LaMelo Ball here. You have him going to the Hornets. Logan, do you think Golden State passes up on Ball because of his talent or because of his fit with their team?
I think the fit with the team there, it's just a little interesting because they did try this out last year with D'Angelo Russell. They signed him once they lost Kevin Durant. They did a little sign and trade with the Brooklyn Nets. They were hoping to bring D'Angelo Russell kind of like that sixth man option, or they were trying to do a three-guard set with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then Russell. Didn't work out. They ended up trading Russell to the team as the first pick in the draft in Minnesota. And the Warriors have always been in need of some kind of a center. They've had JaVale McGee, Andrew Bogut, DeMarcus Cousins, Willie Cauley-Stein. None of those fits have kind of seemed to work there in Golden State. And James Wiseman just seems like the perfect fit, the perfect big man they've been looking for to pair alongside all the great talent they have in every other position.
With the Warriors looking to get back into the playoff picture this year, I'm curious to see what they do at the number 2 spot. But Mike, break down your lotto picks.
Okay, well, at number 1, of course, Anthony Edwards. He's a reliable scorer. He could be a good fit alongside D'Angelo Russell and Cat. Obviously, number 1. Number 2, I have Obi Toppin. He's a great scorer. He's a good shooter. He has very high potential as well. He has that KD, Jason Tatum type of potential, and I think that's something that the Warriors are looking for. Number 3, I have LaMelo Ball. He's got that good size. He's got a very good vision as well, and I think the Hornets need another good guard to add to their team. And also at number 4, I have the center out of USC, Onyeka Okongwu. He averaged 16, 8.5 rebounds, did a good job for them, and I think the Bulls are in need of a center, especially with Wendell Carter, and he hasn't been developing that well, so I think they should go with him at number 4. At number 5, I have Deni Avdija from Israel. He could play positions 1 through 4, but he could be the 3 or the 4 coming into the NBA, and he has very good playmaking as well, something I think the Cavs could use. Also, I have James Wiseman coming in at number 6. I think he'd be great alongside John Collins. He averaged 20 and 11 in his 3 games with Memphis, and I think that he'd be a good fit for them as well. Number 7, Killian Hayes. I think that he is a very good shooter. He could shoot off the dribble. He's poised among one of the smartest players in the draft. Number 8, my Knicks. I got Cole Anthony. He could score, he could rebound, pass, he could shoot, and I think he's a guard that the Knicks can need. Number 9, I have Tyrese Haliburton coming in from Ohio State. He's athletic. He could pass. He's good as well. Number 10, I have Aaron Nesmith. He's a great shooter. He could defend, and I think he'd be a good fit for Phoenix as well. Tyrese Maxey going to San Antonio. He's also athletic. He's unselfish. The Spurs, they like that unselfish play. Number 12, Sadiq Bey. He's a good forward. He could shoot. He's a good all-around player. And I think he's someone that the Kings could use at the power forward position. And Precious going to New Orleans. He could rebound. He's a good dribbler. He could attack the paint. and he could provide good offensive scoring for them. And also the power forward from Serbia. He's kind of like Kristaps Porzingis. He's athletic. He could put the ball on the floor, shoot over smaller guys, and I think he'd be a good fit for Boston.
Let's look into the rest of your first-round picks. Mike, you have the pair of Duke guards going higher than most projections in Trey Jones and Cassius Stanley. Why so?
Well, I have Trey Jones going to Denver, particularly because I think that Jamal Murray and Monte Morris can really help him develop his game. He could also bring that tenacious defense that he plays. He improved his shooting as well, and I just think he'd be a good fit as another guard coming off that Denver bench. And also, the shooting guard from Duke, he's athletic. Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet can also help him to develop his game. He could penetrate to the rim, he could draw fouls, and he also has very good offense and defense as well.
There are a lot of good international players coming in this draft with the likes of Dene Avia and Killian Hayes. But the other player on your list, Logan, who's getting some looks is Leandro Bolmaro from Argentina, who played for Barcelona. Why does he specifically stand out to you?
Yeah, and what's tough with the wing players in this year's draft is that there aren't that much in both small forward and power forwards. Bolmaro is the 30th best player on the CBS draft board, and he's the 4th best small forward in this draft class. And there are a lot of teams, especially in the late first round, that have need at forward. And Bolmaro, who I have 22 going to Denver, like you had with the other guy going to Denver, he was a great defender coming out of Barcelona, and he wasn't great offensively, but it was kind of the same thing with Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, where their defensive prowess kind of showed out first, and then they developed their offensive scoring later on. And with the Denver positions, with the forwards, they have a ton of guys on that team that could get a lot of playing time before Bolmaro does. They have Michael Porter. They have Jeremy Grant, who becomes a free agent next year, and they need more forwards because Paul Millsap, who started at power forward last year, he's going to be a free agent, so he won't be there. And then Jeremy Grant, who I just said before, is going to be a free agent. So Bolmaro has time to develop as a scorer behind a lot of guys who know how to score on that Denver team, and I feel like that would be a great fit for the Nuggets going forward.
So to wrap things up here, which teams do you guys see shaking up the draft board and making a trade on draft night?
Well, the team I'm looking at here is the Phoenix Suns, and specifically with Kelly Oubre. I think a lot of the questions here are going to be around the Golden State Warriors and what they plan on doing at the number 2 spot. Do they plan on taking a guy like Wiseman or Obi Toppin like we have on our boards, or do they plan on trading that number 2 pick in hopes of getting a really great player, because they're a really great team, the Warriors. They won a title a couple years ago. And Kelly Oubre has been a guy the Warriors are looking into potentially trading for, and for good reason. The Warriors had a very limited depth at the wing positions behind Andrew Wiggins, who they just traded for last year, and Eric Paschall, who got a lot of playing time as a rookie last year. And Kelly Oubre is coming off a 18.6 rebound season for the Phoenix Suns, who played really well in the NBA bubble just a couple weeks ago. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a pick swap, what they're looking for, because the Suns have the 10th pick in this draft. So that's a pretty valuable pick for a team like the Warriors, and they would really improve the Warriors' wing depth. And the Suns, if they want, they could take LaMelo Ball, as they do have a weakness at the point guard position. They can move Ricky Rubio to the bench and add more scoring alongside Devin Booker, who is an amazing player, as we found out in the bubble.
Yeah, well, a team that I have that can make a trade is the New York Knicks. I think that with their kind of low pick that they have at number 8, I think that they could look to move up to the top 3 spots in order to acquire LaMelo Ball. Now, we know their guards, Frank Ntilikina, Dennis Smith Jr., they haven't really done well in their time with New York. So I think if they try to make some trades, they have some young assets in Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. Maybe they can make a trade with one of the top 3 teams and move up to the top 3 position in the NBA draft to try to acquire LaMelo Ball. He fits what they're looking for in a point guard with his size and his good vision, and I think he'd be a great fit to pair alongside RJ Barrett.
That wraps up our first NBA mock draft of the year. Be sure to tune in next week here on Penn State Sports Night for more draft coverage. For Logan Bourandas and Mike Merendino, I'm Anna Deshays. Thanks for tuning in and have a great night.
Thank you for watching this edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also, follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.